Okay, this is the interview for Ms. Dianne Bowdary for the Viral Networking for Drastic Results book. And so, welcome, Dianne, and thank you for the opportunity to interview you for this book. Have you ever authored a book before?
I have authored a book.
Okay. What's
Beyond, yes, it's called Beyond 2020. And actually, let me hold on one second. I have a copy right here. Don't know if you can see it in
the background's kind of going out.
Background is cutting me off.
Yeah.
But it's called Beyond 2020 Life and Business Lessons on Thriving Amidst a Pandemic. And it's got, about maybe 12 or 14 co-authors on one of them. And there's a foreword by MC Light. I'm really excited about the lessons that I shared in that book. So awesome. Yes.
I'll have to get a copy of that. So congratulations, because
thank you.
Whether you're a collaborative partner or writing it from scratch, it is a big feat to get a book done. So I'm so glad you're a part of this one. So would you tell us who you are and what you do?
Yes, so I am a corpreneur. And for those folks that don't know, not familiar with that term, that's someone who works in corporate America. And I also have my own business as an entrepreneur. So we just kind of merge and marry those two words together. I'm also an author, a speaker, and a financial wellness coach. I've also founded the Stay Hungry Club. And that's a place for very ambitious women to have a safe space to be with folks who are like-minded. They want to take on the world, but they want to definitely take their professional and their financial lives to the next level, whatever that is.
So what made you what made you come up with the Stay Hungry Club?
Well, I was working in corporate America, and I thought I was on my A game. I was buying whatever I wanted, when I wanted it. And I was living the lifestyle that I dreamed of. The fateful day came when I no longer had that job. I'd pretty much taken it for granted. And then I was stuck spending 6 months or more looking for a job, and I just lost my drive. I lost my hunger. I lost my appetite. And I really started questioning myself. And that attitude spilled into how I was handling my money, so it was reckless, basically. And then I had several cycles of that. But at some point I had gotten to where, I learned to live my life as a business. I learned the importance of staying hungry and going after what you want and never giving up. And I figured out I just can't be the only one that went through this or that is going through it. And being that I had the solution, I just feel compelled to share it with everyone. But I wanted to do it in a safe space where we could get all like-minded women together to encourage each other and to get the tools and get to that next status. Well, and hence we have the Stay Hungry Club.
I love that, because I remember when we were working on your story, you were just talking about how you were spending recklessly. And then when the job left, it was like you were trying to figure out how to capture your life back. So I love that you are helping with that. So, okay, so networking, that's the theme of the book. And you and I met networking in, I want to say 2014.
2014, yeah.
So what made you start networking? Was it somebody's advice, or what made you start networking?
It was advice because I was out of a job. Before, it's funny what you'll do when the need arises, but I was told, you're not going to find a job sitting behind a computer and nobody knows it. You're just filling these applications out online. They're going into a black hole. You've got to meet people. And I just was not in the mood to do that and feel like I was burdening. I felt like I was burdening folks, but that's what birthed the whole need for me to get out and start networking.
Okay, very good. And so it was a job search, and so many people, they think that putting their resume, and you talk to corporatepreneurs, so let's talk about this. They think putting their resume in a job site is the way to
Uh-huh.
find a job. But, I know from personal experience, it's all about who you know and who knows you. So did that networking
Exactly.
did that help you find the job you needed?
I got all of my jobs. In fact, all of the subsequent positions and roles and promotions, I would say off of the combination of my abilities and experience with networking. Uh, there's no question about it. Somebody knew somebody that knew someone, and then couple that with my reputation, with my work ethic and work performance. It worked every time. Like I
Awesome.
could not have done it without networking.
Absolutely. So
Yes.
when it comes to networking, there are so many emotions. Some love it, some hate it. You really
Um,
rarely find people that are in the middle. It's like either they love it or they're like, ew. Where do you fall on the emotion meter when it comes to networking? And
well,
maybe
I'll
you
say that
started at one end and now you're at the other.
exactly. When I first started, I hated it. I was like, it's a bunch of small talk. I don't like being phony. I just had all of these negative connotations, you know. Um, Nobody's gonna be able to help me. I need to work in my industry, in my niche, and this is, I need to be more target, all of these things that were going through my mind. But then I found out as I changed my mindset about networking and thought of it as, well, how can I possibly help someone else? Then it just spun things around altogether. Um, so now I love it. Now I love it. And I every opportunity I can network, I do. I make time for it.
Love it, love it, love it. Virtual networking, because of the pandemic, has become very popular. And I know we're doing this virtually. So, what tips can you share with entrepreneurs to maximize virtual networking?
Yeah, I have two tips I'll share with you. One is that, when you get into a video conference, folks will say, well, put your contact information in the chat. And then you're like, oh, well, you're trying to pay attention, and then you're furiously typing, and then you're trying to pay attention. Oh, I forgot to put this. Let me add that. And so if you can have all of that information typed out, prepared, exactly what you say you want to put in there, there are not going to be any typos. Copy and paste it when it's time, and then you're able to focus. That's
Absolutely.
a big deal.
That's a big deal and advice I always give.
Yes. And maybe I got that from you, Tony, so I can't claim that it's my idea. All right, second one. The second tip is basically to give the other folks who are attending an easy way to get in contact with you.
Mhm.
And another trick that I have to say I learned and stole shamelessly from you was to create a URL, Zoom with Dianne, actually create the calendar link for that. So I include that, and it's going to differentiate somebody clicking on my link versus clicking on someone else's link if they're short on time, especially. And what I found is that after I'm done with that networking meeting, I already have a few requests for meeting in my inbox.
It's
That's
so
never happened
beautiful.
before.
It's
It's like never happened before.
exactly. In the past, we would go to business events. First of all, virtual events, the travesty is coming to the event and leaving with the chat. Okay, they save the chat.
Yes.
I will tell you, no one's ever called me from saving the chat.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, save the chat. Save it for what? Because you're not going to call me. But so when you put your link in, that people
Yeah.
will click your link. Every
Yes.
time I leave a virtual event, I want 3 to 4 or 5 appointments before I leave, and I get them.
And you get them.
And
yeah, that was one of the best advice that I'd received from you in terms of viral networking and just networking all together.
Yeah.
So
So now
yeah.
you're a corporate really. You're corporate and you have a passion for corporate.
Yes,
And you already told your story, but entrepreneurship's hard.
it is.
Easily stay on the job. So what's your driving force to being an entrepreneur?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll say it's not so much the focus on being an entrepreneur and working for myself and not working for any, it's not so much that. It's really my focus is on waking up every day and saying like, oh my God, who can I get the message out to today? I'm like waking up feeling compelled on a mission. God put this mission on my heart to be able to help folks. So that's what gets me up and driven to go in that wake up hungry to share that information with folks. Like, how can I get in touch with some more folks to spread the word? How can I further help the folks I'm already talking with? How can I get us out of this rat race with, lost a job, don't have any money, have a job, have money, get us off that whole train altogether.
Yeah.
So it's that passion and excitement for how it helps others that drives and fuels what I do.
Absolutely. You got to have a passion for others. I work with my clients on their why. And
yes,
a lot of times their why is because I want to retire. I want to put my kids through college. Your why can't be about you. Your why has to be about the people you serve. When you serve people and your why shines through, you'll be able to put your kids through college or retire or whatever it is your goals are. But your why really needs to be about helping other people. So I love that. Okay, next.
Absolutely.
So tell me about a time. Oh, I love this question. Tell me about the time that you didn't want to show up, you pushed ahead, and you're glad.
There's so many examples of that, really, especially when I first started out with networking. But a time that stands out was when I was severely down about my job situation. And I had been looking for quite a while, and I had showed up to a few of the networking events. And while they were helpful, I felt like I had to put on a face to go to these networking events sometimes when I was in the wrong space, in my head. So when I did, I spoke to a mentor at that time, and he was like, you know what, you're just being really selfish right now. I was like, I don't know what you mean. Like, you're being selfish. You're thinking about what you can get out of this, and that you don't want to do this and you don't want to do that. And he said, there are people that will show up and they need you. They're waiting for you. I was like, that's impossible. They don't even know me. And they said, well, they need what you bring, and nobody else can bring but you. And if you don't show up, they can't experience that and appreciate it. So then I was feeling guilty on one hand, and on the other hand, I was curious, like, who would possibly need whatever I have to offer, especially when I felt so broken. But again, it's like you said, it's not about you. It's about how you can help people. So I ended up going to that one particular event. It's not like it was intended for folks that didn't have a job. It was just a networking event for the community, for business owners. So I started, ended up going just out of curiosity and guilt. But as a result, I was able to connect at least 3 people with connections that they really needed and wanted, and were very appreciative to get. It's like, it didn't really take hardly any work on my part to get them connected. And then for me, I ended up, to my surprise, getting connections with folks who were able to help get me interviews in positions that they weren't published anywhere. It's not like they were online. They weren't, they were going to be published, but they were looking for internal referrals. So that really changed my mindset. That was like the turning point for me, not just about, just about networking in general. And it's just that we cannot focus on ourselves. There are people that will show up. Networking only works if they show up and if you show up.
Yep.
So if it's just them or just you, you need both together. So
absolutely. Yay.
That's a big deal for me.
That was such a textbook perfect response, because if we push ahead, especially when we don't feel like it, you have no idea. I can tell you story after story after story.
Even
I did not want to show up. I'm the queen of networking, but there are times I don't want to show up either. And then it was like, oh my God, I met this amazing person. And so that was beautiful, golden. Okay. So we are right now, because we're experienced networkers, we're making it seem easy. But tell me, what are some challenges you have with networking?
Part of the challenge is the follow-up. And so easy after you get out of that networking event, you're all engaged and talking with folks and getting all this wonderful information. And it's like, great. Then you leave there and it's like, go back into the other reality. And if that's your business, if it's your 9 to 5, whatever it is, if it's whatever's going on at home, and it's easy to get sucked up in that. And it's like, all right, I have my notes here. I'm going to follow up. I'm going to call. Next thing you know, it's a week, a month, it's a quarter, 3 months has passed already. Next thing you know, it's next year. So,
and it's like, is it too late? It's never too late. It's never too late to follow up. But there is something, you make a great point. It's the biggest challenge of networking is the follow-up. And I think the strategies that you shared earlier that I teach of getting people on your calendar when you're in front of them eliminates the need to have to follow up.
Yes. So you talk a lot about making things systematic. I mean, that applies for business, and we use that in our 9 to 5. We make things as automated, as systematic, as proper as possible. And you eliminate the chance of error or that not happening. So by you having the link there, it somewhat automates the process of following up, because now you've got this invite on your calendar and it's going to pop up, and you're basically either going to attend or reschedule, but you'll have a time commitment on there. So that does help tremendously.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. You're such a good student.
I've learned quite a bit, yes.
So you've already shared that networking has helped you get positions, but I want you to think about a time networking like changed your life for the moment that you were in. Like, wow.
Yes, I would say I was at a networking event with several, mostly women, and they were very much like me, had a lot going on. And this was I had my business, I had my coaching in place, and I just was like trying to put it all together. All of the loose pieces I had within my business. And what I learned from that networking session and meeting with the ladies that I met with was that there was such a big need for something like a Stay Hungry Club to bring these folks together in a safe place where no one is going to judge them and nobody's going to be like, you know what, you're doing too much. You're doing too much right now, or, it's just a safe place for them to work on their goals and get to where they want to be. And it was because of this one networking event that I attended that I made the final stamp and decision. I am going to start this Stay Hungry Club. I'm going to kick it off. I'm not just going to think about it anymore. They just like gave me the confirmation that I needed to push forward. So as a result of attending, I really think that had I not attended that one specific event, that I would have just, it would have stayed a thought in my mind.
I love that. Yes. So social media is a form of networking. And so
Yeah.
how has social media helped you grow your business?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, Tony. I'm going to tell you, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet with social media. So I understand the importance of it and the influence around it. So I am just now getting to work the tools. Now I've been using it for about 2 years now, but I'm just now starting to get in, especially with Stay Hungry Club, to really leverage the power of influence and connecting with people through social media, and not making it very personal and interactive, unlike before. So that's my new challenge for myself in 2022, is connecting to folks more personally through social media. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome, wonderful. And social media is just, so you meet somebody at an event, whether it's a virtual or in-person event. If you're intentional and drastic about asking to connect with them on social media, it's the way that people get to see you, and it validates who you said you were. Now, let's be clear.
Right.
That you didn't forget me. You and I lost touch for a long time. I gotta believe
That's right.
that you didn't forget me, because you kept seeing me in social media. And when the time was right.
That's so true.
Right? So social media is an extension of your contact. And even when I have one-to-ones with people, I make sure that I connect with them on social media. That way I get to know them a little personal. I get to ask about their kids and their dog the next time I see them. And people think that I'm not natural at this. No, I practice it. I practice networking. And so now I get to teach you exactly.
Yes.
Do what I tell you, girl. You'll be good. Okay.
Next. I will, Tony.
So what mistakes?
I will.
What mistakes have you seen entrepreneurs make when networking? Besides not following up, you said that, but what other mistakes have you seen?
I would say, and I touched on this briefly, about not just going in for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And not being genuine. Like, they'll approach you and they're literally doing small talk, and they're not interested in what you have to offer, to say. They're not asking the questions to learn more about you, but they're just kind of, they show up and throw up. They throw up. They're not following the motto that you set aside: show up, be up, and what's the other one?
Follow
up,
and you will
follow up. Exactly. And you will succeed. You will have drastic steps taken for a fantastic day. But if you don't follow up, then the inevitable happens. So that's very important. That's a big mistake that folks make, is not being authentic and not being there for others, and really wanting to learn more about the other folks that they could potentially serve.
So on that note, what does it mean to you to show up?
Oh, well, showing up is being present. We go in with an agenda. What's my purpose of going to this networking meeting today? Well, I want to come out of here with 5 leads, and I want to this and that. Maybe the agenda should be, I want to go in and with the expectation that I want to help at least 5 people. Instead of what I'm going to bring out of it, what am I going to give? So that's my best networking tip. That, and be yourself.
Yeah, and
that's showing up
with a posture of giving versus receiving.
That's right.
So, this book is all about viral networking, and so you probably are, well, let me just ask the question. So describe how your networking has gone viral.
I will say my networking has gone viral through in large thanks to NIA and the network, because it's not just the folks locally here where I am geographically. The fact that we're able to get on this national call, this national forum with people from all over, with skills and talents and intellect from all over, has been game changing in itself. And so the word now gets out to folks, and I think we had like folks in Canada on the last call, folks all the way up in Alaska, all the way south. It's basically, and then there are folks internationally that I'm able to connect with and didn't have those means before. So this is taking my business to a whole new viral level of networking.
And we're just getting started.
Just getting started.
Just getting
Yes.
started. Wait
Yes.
a year from now, wait 2 years from now, you have no idea what is about to happen. So
I can't wait. I can't wait.
So we're just getting started. Okay. Thank you for that. I know you said not following up was a mistake that a lot of people make. Do you have a good tip for following up for people?
Yeah. So in addition to what we talked about, which was putting your link for scheduling in the chat, I would say before, when you get back to the office or at the end of the day, do not lay your head down until you have made an appointment with X number of people.
Mm-hmm.
So either you get their link, or you send an email to them, or you call,
Mm-hmm.
and you just set a goal. And I put in my calendar, for instance, every Friday at a certain time, I'm going to reach out to at least 10 people.
Yeah.
And most of them come from that networking event. But that way I'm sure to include and follow up with folks. And I think that just, if you make that a habit, put it in the schedule on the calendar, and then stick to it, it just becomes habit after a while.
It absolutely, and you are absolutely right. Here's the other thing. You don't have to follow up with everybody. So
no,
you don't want to follow up with everybody.
Too much.
Set a goal. I love where you said X number of people, set the number, and make sure but the best part about it is doing it before you even leave the event.
Yes.
Okay. So what is your favorite quote around networking or connecting?
So my favorite quote has to be from Zig Ziglar.
Mm-hmm.
Has to be. There's a lot of good quotes out there, but I think this one is my favorite. You can have everything in life that you want if you just help other people get what they want. Like Zig Ziglar, it's inevitable. It just comes right back around to you. And to do this selflessly and authentically is the only way to go.
Awesome.
That's one of my favorites.
I love it. So what final thoughts would you offer to entrepreneurs who are hesitant to network?
I understand the hesitancy, especially when you're like, I got to focus on my business. There's just all of these reasons why we say that we can't network. We don't have time to network. My advice is to just do it. Just do it. If you have to force yourself, if you have to grab a friend, if you have to, whatever, drop the ball on one thing. Go and attend your first networking. If you have not done, go and attend your first networking event, and go with the intention of having a good time. Leave all of that other stuff, leave that on the kitchen pantry shelf in there. Just leave it alone. Go in with a wonderful attitude, be excited about who you're going to meet, be your authentic self, and just go with an open mind and excitement about what's to come, because it will only be positive for you in the long run. I'd like to leave with that.
I love that. So tell everybody how they can get in touch with you.
So they can get in touch with me by going on my website, where I have a link for them to schedule time. That's Dianne at DianneBowdary.com. Or they can call me. I do answer my phone, 833-269-3279. And I am looking forward to whoever reaches out. I look forward to that conversation and connecting.
Thank you so much, Dianne. This has been an amazing conversation, and we're looking forward to
Thank you so much, Tony.
The book. This is
Likewise.
This is Tony Harris Taylor saying, take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow. Bye.